Good evening. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm having a greater appreciation for your fiscal responsibility as I went through my budget over the weekend, so thank you so much for your time. I've brought my walking, talking encyclopedia of knowledge, John Rogers, with me, so hopefully we can answer all your questions this evening.
Sure. Okay, you find them yet? What page are they on? Do you know? Anybody got it?
Not yet.
Man, you must be way down.
They're past fire. They're just before police. I found it. There it is.
What page?
107.
All right, here's your clicker. All right. All right, are we ready? Our department is broken into 3 categories. We have the housing service, which covers block grants and home funds, the economic development, which covers our TIFs and enterprise zones, and fiscal services. Our OPED staffing level has remained fairly level. The reduction that you note in staff numbers due to OBM transferring our fiscal officer to their department. Some of the changes of note in our full department budget. Our fiscal year 2019 budget request of $13.6 million is down 20% from our fiscal year 2018 current budget. Our fiscal officer is being moved from personal services to contractual. Funding for this staff comes from the SHA TIF, the Enos Park TIF, the Far East TIF, the Downtown TIF, and CDBG funds. Costs for 1.14 employee comes from the corporate fund. Oh, you can stay there. That's okay. Electronic data processing is increasing for new software needs and computer updates. Awards and grants is decreasing due to spending down of our fund balance, especially in the central area TIF in the current fiscal year. And as you can see, we have reduced travel, although necessary, for collaboration with others within the industry, and we hope to send personnel to conferences and meetings for various associations that we have within our department. The changes in the corporate fund budget, as noted previously, the fiscal officer's salary is being moved from personal services to contractual. His salary is split 1/3 corporate, 1/3 block grant, and 1/3 central area TIF. Our awards and grant, we had originally budgeted $125,000, and that was reduced prior to what you are seeing here, this $90,000. Those funds were including home match funds, access ramps, and homeowner contributions. And all of these denote an almost 12% reduction from the corporate fund. As shown on the pie chart, you note that 4% of our budget is corporate. That's about $498,400. 76% is TIF, 14% is CDBG funds, 6% is home loan or IDA funds. Of our 4% of the corporate funds, 27% are for personal service, as noted earlier. 18% are for grants, which include home match monies, skill ramps, and home deferred copays. 51% are for contracts, which include salary for our fiscal officer, a study for TIF, and a couple of proposed initiatives like Innovate Springfield, our business incubator, and funding for DSI. 4% are for other, which include things like travel, commodities, equipment, telecommunications, and computers. I'm pleased to report some of our accomplishments for this year. We have 9 established TIFs, including the new Peoria Road TIF. We're currently working on a boundary extension to the Madison Park Place TIF. We have 10 projects, which include the Kidseum, Eleanor Realtors, Spur, which is the renovation of the church downtown, Bright New Day, Springfield Art Association, homeowner program and first responder program in Enos Park, the Hy-Vee project in MacArthur, and a homeowner and first responder program in the Far East Tip. We have new enterprise zone boundary extensions for projects with LRS, Solomon Colors, and Emberclear. Between Solomon Colors and LRS, they added 50 new full-time positions. Microloan lending with our partner Justine Peterson generated about 68 new loans. Our housing services helped 28 homeowners with rehab and minor repairs. One such story was an elderly gentleman whose furnace went out during the frigid weather around Christmas, and we were able to get someone in there to replace his furnace within one day. Demolition of about 10 homes, modified homes making them handicap accessible. We assisted with funding for Helping Hands Winter Warming Center, Justine Peterson for microloans, and the Summer Youth Initiative. We also assisted in repair work for the Boys and Girls Club, renovations at Skill, and security issues at Spark. And various grants have been submitted this year, generating roughly $125,000. Are there any questions?
I have a question. On your,
Sure.
On the Community Block Development Grant, 050 fund, on 2110, you have awards and grants for $1.5 million. Is that money that you received or money that you granted out?
It's money we received that we grant out to do the emergency home repairs, skill grants, money going to public service activities like the Helping Hands Warming Shelter, the Summer Youth Initiative, Justine Peterson. They're what we do. That's where we pay for it, 2110. We enter into an agreement with them and grant them the money.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Hanauer and then Tyler, I'm sorry.
Okay, on your 1218 line, you've got a professional planner for 65. Can you explain that, please, and on what the...
Well, some of these were put in here, we're saying this was done even before I walked in the door. And so that has been, some of that has been reallocated, or we're looking at is different, reallocating those differently.
And
I can answer that. If you, that was the line item, and John could give the history or what was spent out of that this year, but that was the Paul O'Shea line item, you know, his position. And so it's been utilized for other activities, and I'm not sure what
My
that.
salary.
Oh, that's right.
My
About salary.
yes.
all right.
But we were looking at
I'm a
partnering with
professional planner.
UIS on any type of planning. We were specialized planning with them related to economic development with UIS.
And Marion, I don't mean to be contentious with you tonight,
Oh, that's right.
but, you know, I know that you're looking at allocating the $100,000 to go to Innovate Springfield. And while I think it's a good organization, being this year, I don't think we should, I think we should hold that money, the full $100,000. If we were in better budget times, I would say that, you know, it wouldn't be bad to look at that, but I just don't think, I think at this stage of the game, we're better off holding the money than sending it there. And that's just my comment. And
I guess with that, ordinance been filed, so we'll discuss it. But
right, I just
the Q5, which we helped fund in the amount of $100,000, they did fund the Innovate Springfield. And if any of you haven't been there, you should go there. That was the one of the bright spots of the economic development report was Innovate Springfield, because small businesses is where it's at. Innovate Springfield has entrepreneurs that have come from there that actually received national attention. They'll be here and they can tout their own story with regards to that. But their concern is without funding, they may have to close their doors. And so, you know, from when we're talking about economic development, that's been one of the engines that has worked. And their plan is to have funding in place within a 3-year period in partnership with UIS. I mean, that's the long-term plan. When you look at incubators like this, you go to St. Louis's Cortex or T-Rex Zone, it's really driven by the university. So the UIS has supported it through by having instructors there. And but the funding came from the chamber, the community foundation, and then their membership. And so they could speak to the details of it, but that's something we probably need to discuss in more detail once the ordinance is presented.
According to the chamber, they were told they were asked to give them money. I believe this last year they only funded $50,000, and this upcoming year they committed to $150,000. They did $100,000 the first year, $50 this year, and I don't know that they necessarily were planning on funding it anyway this year, but.
Well, they're not. Yeah, that's the thing. They're not going to. Mm-hmm.
I just understand. I'm just saying. You know, if we had better budget times, I don't have a problem with it. But I just don't know. This is the year to do that. So I'm not going to.
Right. Just one last thing is, you know, when we're talking about, we don't want to. I know it's tough budget time. You have to get with the reality of it. What's that $100,000 mean in the long-term future of Springfield? It's been a long time coming. This incubator's been planned. You know, and that's be discussion with business leaders. I'm sure they'll be coming in with support. But what it does is 2 things. One is new startups, or 3 things. New startups, brings in millennials, and it's downtown. So those are the 3 items that are the driving factors with the key core elements that we're trying to attract and really drive home. But again, we'll have that discussion. I'm sure John Strunsterfer and others from Innovate Springfield will be here. So I just hope everybody keeps an open mind with regards to that, because right now everything's in a state of flux with regards to the chamber, what they're doing, and you know what the county's trying to do. The county needs help, especially the rural areas. Springfield is doing well, and we'll have those discussions, but that's a concern, of course, on the county's level. But on our level, we need to make sure the momentum keeps moving along. We can't sit back and wait and hope something else comes. I mean, we are moving, and that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to stop that momentum, but that'll be discussed in, like I said, when the ordinance comes forward.
Alderman Tyler.
My question is to the head count. Just looking at the numbers, you guys obviously had some reductions in staff. What's the head count now compared to previous year's budgets?
That was the second slide.
That's what I was trying to find it in there.
I think they
just one full-time. Now you have some.
They reduced
staff
one
that are
position.
Yeah.
Split up is where I was kind of going, because sometimes you have the staff that's half budgeted here and a quarter budgeted there and everything else. I didn't know if there was more than one.
You know, we break it down according to their workload, and you know, like there's a lot of time being spent like in the downtown TIF, a lot of times. So we allocate the funds according to that. So it is kind of strange.
So it is just one person. You don't have part-time people.
No. We just broke it down into as far as how much the total budget was and how it's allocated out. So yes.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, how many, do you plan on replacing the economic development director?
Well, we want to get through this budget, but I can tell you this: we did a search, a national search, and actually, you know, 2 things. Well, we'll have the discussion on the candidates, but really, at this point, you know, being this close to an election, quite honestly, I'll probably possibly go in an acting capacity as opposed to having a permanent one.
That person counted in those numbers up there or not?
Yes.
The
Yes.
full-time
Yes.
directors? Okay.
Yes.
Alderman, what's your name? Proctor. Proctor.
It's been a long night, I know. I think at one time there was discussions to give, maybe it came from the mayor's office, for downtown Springfield. I think it was I heard the number $50,000. Was that going to come out of your budget, or is that come out of CBB? Did I miss that?
No, yes, that was part of the, actually, the corporate fund, yes.
Yeah, actually,
That line item,
Which number?
1218.
1218?
Yeah, it really, DSI, is that what you were asking
Yeah,
about?
DSI,
Yeah,
yeah.
DSI, it really depends on the initiatives. If it's something that qualifies for the TIF, we'd have it funded through the TIF. If it's an activity that doesn't qualify that or other mechanisms, then we'd rely on that fund with the 65,000 or whatever that was.
And, yes,
Oh, for,
yes.
so 65,000 now is for the professional planner? Is that?
Yeah.
That was October 21st when we submitted this budget. That's what it was, and that's obviously changed with the Q5 and the DSI. So that's what it was when we entered it the first time.
Okay, so that should read DSI and then
It should.
Right,
other.
yes.
The books were printed and
I said it, but
Got it. Sorry, I was in the hallway.
that's okay.
Thanks.
Clarify, what line item is that should read DSI?
1218.
1218.
Okay, that's another item for 1218, okay.
Or, as the mayor said, if there's some TIF-eligible activity, then we might take it there, too.
Any other questions, concerns? Thank you very much.
Thank you.